The lunacy in the Canadian Parliament, and Randy just never ceases. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Well, today in question period, Michael Barrett and others, quite a few others as a matter of fact, brought up Randy Boissonnault again. A story broke in the National Post today that Randy Boissonnault's partner had also been in business with a drug trafficker. Randy in Parliament claims that he did not know this, and he also claimed that the article mentioned that he did not know this person. But that was a lie. We're going to look into this. Let's first take a look at a few clips from question period, and then let's take a read of that article just to point out the fact that Randy lied.
Mr. Speaker, the Employment Minister first denied that he and his company were profiting off government business, and then text messages showed the contrary. They referred to a Randy. Well, he claimed that it was another Randy. We now know there is no other Randy. We know he falsely claimed he was Indigenous in order so that his company could steal resources that were meant for real Indigenous people. And now his company address matches the address of a place that was the location of 2 cocaine busts. Any one of these things would be a resigning offense. Why won't he resign now?
Know the person referred to in today's article. I've never met that person. I've had no dealings with her whatsoever. Those are the facts.
Apparently the person he doesn't know is himself. He says that he's not the Randy in the text messages, but his own business associates say there is no other Randy. He says that he said that he was Indigenous in order that he could get grants and contracts that were meant just for Indigenous people. Now he admits he's not Indigenous at all. And now, while his company has the same address as a place that has 2 cocaine busts, he says he doesn't know the person involved in that address either. Does this minister even know who he is?
Mr. Speaker, I don't know the person referred to in the article today. I've never met her. I've had no dealings with her whatsoever. The article states that fact, and that is the fact.
Oh, really, Randy? Well, I'm going to have to call BS on that. As a matter of fact, let's go to that article right now. I'm going to read through it, and you be the judge. Does the article say that Randy didn't know this person? This is the article in question. It was published in the National Post today. So let's take a read of this and see where it leads us. Cabinet Minister shared mailing address with person named in cocaine busts. A company co-owned by Edmonton Minister Randy Boissonnault shared a post office box with a woman who was detained in 2 major drug busts. I'm not sure which Randy that was. There's apparently many. The medical supply company co-owned by Minister Randy Boissonnault shared a post office box with a woman named in arrests in 2 major drug busts, according to corporate filings. It's connection that could reveal security gaps in the federal government's vetting of cabinet picks, corporate ethics and law experts say, and raises new questions about the minister's judgment amid a recent series of troubling revelations. The mailbox, rented at an Edmonton UPS store, appears on the April 2020 license for the Edmonton MP's former enterprise, Global Health Imports Corporation, GHI. The mailbox is also listed on a different company's registration document as a home address for Francesca, I think that's how you pronounce it, LeBlond, a woman who has been named in run-ins with police since at least 2008, according to Alberta Court of Justice records. UPS store spokesman Steve Moorman said that someone named Francesca LeBlond has rented the mailbox since 2013. GHI's name is not on the rental agreement, he said, although GHI mail sometimes arrives in the mailbox. He said people occasionally turned up at the store in Edmonton Strip Mall looking for GHI. Boissonnault owned half of GHI at the time the mailbox was shared with her. The Liberal cabinet minister recently said he gave up his shares this year following public scrutiny of the business's dealings. This summer, Global News revealed a link between Boissonnault's former business partner, Stefan Anderson, and LeBlond. It reports that after Boissonnault won the September 2021 election and was appointed to cabinet, LeBlond and Anderson registered a business together called 135604449 Canada Limited. Anderson and LeBlond did not respond to National Post inquiries for this story. Boissonnault's spokeswoman Alison Hansen said the minister is now at odds with his former partner Anderson. Minister Boissonnault did not know and has never met Miss LeBlond, Hansen said, adding that LeBlond has no involvement in GHI. Some information about LeBlond has been released through media reports and public records. In April 2022, authorities in the Dominican Republic discovered more than 200 kilograms of cocaine on a Toronto-bound carrier plane with Francesca LeBlond on board as a passenger. The plane's 7 passengers and 5 crew members were held in the Dominican Republic for months, then released without charge. A March 2023 report by CTV W5 alleged that a drug smuggling ring based in Edmonton chartered the plane. In 2013, officers of the Edmonton Police Service's Drug and Gang Enforcement Unit arrested Francesca and 2 others during a cocaine bust, charging her with several weapons offenses and 2 drug possession offenses, the force said in a press release. Prosecutors later withdrew all charges against LeBlond. In 2008, Francesca was convicted for marijuana possession, for which she received a year of parole. The Canadian government legalized and regulated the use of marijuana in 2018. Now, this, I believe, is incorrect because it wouldn't have been parole. She hadn't served a sentence. It would have been probation. When the COVID pandemic began, Boissonnault was temporarily out of government, having lost his Edmonton Centre seat in the 2019 election before winning it back in 2021. He and Anderson started GHI to import medical supplies during the pandemic. GHI registered LeBlond's post office box with Health Canada on its federal license as an operating site. Hansen, the minister's spokesperson, said Boissonnault used his lawyer's address for the business. With regards to the shared mailbox with LeBlond, she and Boissonnault believed that this P.O. box belonged to Mr. Anderson. This was the height of COVID, and both individuals were working at distance. Minister Boissonnault will be exploring legal action against Mr. Anderson, Hansen noted, following news reports revealing Anderson's use of the MP's name in business dealings after the minister was elected. Ministers are not permitted to be involved in a business's operation while holding public office. Boissonnault has been under scrutiny since late March, facing questions from media and opposition MPs about his dealings with GHI. Texts leaked to the media suggest Anderson was communicating with someone named Randy about GHI's business affairs after Boissonnault had been appointed to cabinet and was required to be uninvolved. Boissonnault said that Randy is not him, and he ceased to be involved in the business after October 2021 and has complied with all conflict of interest rules. The House Standing Committee on Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics opened an investigation to Boissonnault's business dealings in May. The Ethics Commissioner has looked into Boissonnault and GHI in multiple probes and said he found no evidence the Liberal minister has broken conflict of interest rules. Boissonnault apologized Friday for not being clear about his heritage after shifting statements over the years, identifying his background alternatively as adopted Cree, white, and Métis. He does not now claim to be Indigenous.
It's time you knew you're not a natural-born child.
You mean I'm gonna stay this color?
This was after National Post reported that his company had applied for federal contracts, claiming it was wholly Indigenous-owned. Boissonnault's spokesperson said he was not aware that Anderson had made those claims in the bids and did not consent to them. Gary Clement, a former RCMP investigator who specializes in international organized crime and money laundering, said on November 12th that the committee needs to examine any possible connections between LeBlond and GHI. Nobody has done a deep dive on this, he said. Political parties must thoroughly vet candidates for political office for any links to criminal activities, he said, to guard against risks of criminal exploitation or extortion. As a matter of national security, the committee must review the link between LeBlond and GHI, Clemens said. Citing privacy legislation, the Privy Council Office, PCO, which vets candidates for ministerial appointments, declined to answer whether its checks uncovered the link between GHI and LeBlond when Boissonnault was named Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance in October 2021. The registration of 135604449 Canada Limited by LeBlond and Anderson was posted publicly 2 months after Boissonnault resumed office in 2021. PCO did not run a second check when the minister's portfolio was shuffled to employment, workforce development, and official languages in July 2023, Savoy said. On November 7, the Parliamentary Ethics Committee called Boissonnault to testify for a third time, along with 2 GHI employees. In July 2021, GHI employees renewed the business license, but swapped out the mailbox for a new office and warehouse based in Edmonton. In December 2021, a few months after Boissonnault was elected to Parliament and appointed to Cabinet, Anderson and LeBlond registered 135-60449 Canada Limited. Anderson told Global News that the business never launched operations. Every time you turn around, a new piece of information is revealed that raises serious questions about what exactly Minister Boissonnault was wrapped up in. Conservative ethics critic MP Michael Barrett of the connection between GHI and LeBlond. As you can see, it wasn't the National Post who reported that Boissonnault didn't have any knowledge of this LeBlond character. It was Boissonnault himself through his spokesperson. So yes, I'm calling you out, Boissonnault, that's BS. So just after question period, an Liberal MP stood up and demanded that Michael Barrett apologize for referring to Randy as Cocaine Randy.
I see that the Honourable Minister is rising on a point of order. The Honourable Minister for International Development.
The Honourable Member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes, at the conclusion of asking his question, as he was sitting down, called the Minister of Employment and Workforce Development Cocaine Randy. That is extremely unparliamentary, and I ask you, Mr. Speaker, to ask him to withdraw that remark. Thank you very
much. I see that the member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes is rising in response to this point of order.
Speaker, I'm sure that I was referring to the other Randy as Cocaine Randy.
It's clear to me, as it should be to everybody watching, that Randy Boissonnault is unsuited to be a minister, let alone a member of Parliament. So when is he going to resign? It's just disgusting that this guy is still a member of Parliament and a minister. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Put your comments down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, I invite you to join me on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time for my live stream, where you can join in on the conversation. Finally, I do teach the Canadian firearm safety courses. These courses are required for a person to get their Canadian firearms license, also known as a PAL, which is very useful for employment, recreation, and hunting. So if you are in need of a Canadian firearms license and you'd like to take one of my courses, I do operate on Vancouver Island. So if you're on Vancouver Island, I invite you to look me up. There are links in the description of this video to my website where you can sign up to take the Canadian Firearm Safety course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.